Guests, you may now take any available seats in the reserved section. If you are moving, please don't run and be courteous to your fellow attendees. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of Planet Anime, for the last time, how we doing today, guys? Oh my gosh, what a phenomenal final round of applause, guys. Guys, and we said it a little bit at the panel before this one, but thank you. We cannot stress enough how incredible that these shows are because of all of you. These shows truly, oh, I love you. These shows do not happen without you guys. So again, for the final time, give yourselves a round of applause. So I'd like to invite you guys all to come kind of consolidate a little bit. I know some of us are sitting over there, some of us are sitting over there. Don't be afraid to come a little closer. This is our final panel, so we want to make sure it is a nice, intimate gathering. So again, please feel free to join us over here closer to the center if you guys choose to so. Folks, we have quite the special guest to round out Planet Anime 2025. She is known for a variety of roles, but of course we know her, we love her as our favorite elf. So please give a big round of applause for Mallorie Rodak! Mallorie, how are we doing?
Oh my gosh, thank you guys for being here on a Sunday afternoon. I really appreciate it. I'm doing really well. Kansas City has been really nice to me. It is awesome up here.
Now, is this your first time ever going to Kansas City, Mallorie?
Believe it or not, I am a Kansan.
You are a Kansan?
I am a Kansan, so...
Born and raised?
I was born in Texas, but only, I would say, like a month after I was born, I moved to Wichita. So I went to elementary school in Wichita. Anyone in here from Wichita? No? Oh, okay. All right. Some people maybe. I went to middle school, Mays. If you guys know Mays, it's a suburb of Wichita. Yeah, that's where I went. And then for high school, I ended up moving away. But spent my formative years in Kansas, believe it or not. So I did come to Kansas City quite a bit, living in the area. And then I actually went to school, Springfield, Missouri. Any Missourians? Yes. Okay. Drury University.
No way.
That's where I went to school. Yeah. We had an amazing theater professor there, Robert Westenberg. He originated the role of the wolf on Into the Woods and Broadway. He's Tony nominated. Like, I credit him for a lot of like the acting foundational stuff that I know. So yeah, Missouri, Kansas, I've lived in both states, believe it or not.
So folks, this show is not just for you guys get to be a part of it. And for those of you who've joined us all weekend, I know you're probably tired of hearing me say that, but we'll only say it a couple more times throughout the rest of this panel. So, this show is just not for you guys get to be a part of it. We've got a floor mic located right over here. If you guys, throughout this panel, would like to slowly make your way over to the mic, we would love to hear your question for Mallorie. While we wait for them to think of a question or make their way over to you, we spoke about it a little bit in the intro. What a show. Folks, when just a little bit of a background for yours truly, whenever I saw this show, I saw it briefly on the Crunchyroll app. Didn't really think much of it. Then everybody out of the freaking woodworks are talking to me about this show, how incredible it is, and did that inspire me to give it a shot? Absolutely not. I am one of those old school hipsters where if somebody absolutely loves something, I'm going to intentionally not really give it a shot until much later. Well, later came, and what a show.
Isn't it amazing? I feel like I just am like pinching myself that I get to be a part of an anime that even if I wasn't in it, I would genuinely love this anime. It's exactly my style. I am a huge fan of Studio Ghibli movies. Like, that's kind of what I grew up on, Miyazaki films. And I feel like, I know that's a high bar to compare Frieren to, but I think like the whole idea of like every scene is so beautiful. It could be, a painting on a wall. And the fact that, both those films and Frieren kind of make you think. They make you think about your life, our role in society, the relationships that we have with one another. So I feel so lucky and grateful that I get to be part of this.
I personally don't think you're off base. And like, I promise you, not sycophancy, not trying to get points or anything, but what is the two core things that we think about when we think about a Ghibli film? It's beautifully animated, Frieren, check. But also it provokes us to think about things, society, the world, the environment, differently. Again, Frieren, check. I can totally see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, I feel like it makes me think about my own life and the passage of time, you know, and like all the friendships that you've had along the way and the people who have influenced you and made you who you are, that maybe they're not in your life anymore for whatever reason, but they stay with you. You know, they're a part of you. And I think that's kind of beautiful.
Well, and it touches a little bit on it throughout the show, but and like sometimes it's tone in a comedic sense, other times it's not. But I feel like it's not just the central point, but also the central tragedy, right? Is that she remains, at least physically, unchanged. Yet everybody around her, everybody that she loves, everybody that she connects with is aging, is getting older. And I feel like that is something that we can all touch on as well. I mean, heck, I just turned 30 and all of a sudden these knees don't work.
Happy birthday.
So let alone, man, I would love to be an ageless elf.
Yeah, people ask me sometimes, they're like, okay, if you could be immortal or have an elven lifespan, would you do it? And it's such a hard question
That's a tough one.
to answer because I love elves. Frieren is not my only elf that I've voiced. If you guys are familiar with my career, I also voiced High Elf Archer in Goblin Slayer, Elise from Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. So like elves are such cool, fascinating characters to voice. And so there's definitely, I'm drawn towards them. But then I ask myself like, oh gosh, if I were alive for 1,000 years, everyone that I know will have passed away, you know? And just to live with that, I mean, I can't imagine. It would be hard. So I feel for the characters in that sense.
So, folks, again, this show is for you guys. So if you guys want to start lining up, I know a lot of you already have, but again, through the duration of this panel, feel free to go over to the floor mic. Hello, what is your name?
Hi, my name is Jared.
Jared. So, Jared, I actually wasn't very transparent with you guys because for this last panel, I thought it might be a little nice to engage with you guys a little bit more. So, Jared, before you ask your question, I want to ask you a question.
Okay, sure.
Jared, if you could have an infinite amount of one dessert, what would it be?
Leche flan.
What was it?
Leche flan.
Oh, my God.
Ooh.
Okay.
Caramelized pudding, basically.
Very cool. All right. Now, man, that's an answer. Jared, what's your question, man?
Okay. Thank you, Mallory, for coming to Kansas City.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. What is a underrated voice acting or acting role that you wish people knew more about on?
Ooh, I love this question. Okay, has anyone seen Star Blazers? Anyone? Okay, wow, we have some hands. I get this question sometimes at panels, and I ask people, have you seen it? Have you seen it? And no hands go up. And I'm a huge sci-fi fan, and Star Blazers, it was originally an anime in the 70s and 80s. So a lot of Gen Xers will tell me, oh yeah, I would get home from school and I would watch Star Blazers on TV. And they rebooted it, and the reboot is fantastic. It still stays true to the original. The music is incredible. It's kind of like brassy. The story is like a big space opera in the sky. It's just, I don't know, it has all these elements that I just really love. I voice Yuki Mori in the series, and she's the lead alongside Christopher Waycamp, which you guys may know. He's here at this event. He voices Kodai, the main guy, and it's a beautiful sci-fi story, and it's so popular in Japan. In Japan, actually, they just released a new movie. It was very successful in Japan, but in the US, for some reason, Americans, they don't have the same love for Star Blazers that I do. And so when people ask me that question, I'm like, please watch Star Blazers. It's so good. It's I don't know, it's a beautiful story. It's well done. Music is great. Characters are great. So yeah, give it a watch if you are bored and looking for a good sci-fi.
It's amazing, Star Blazers. Now, speaking of sci-fi, not a stranger to sci-fi because, in addition to, doing voice acting work, you also do in front of camera work. So tell us a little bit about The Vast of Night.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that. Oh my gosh. So The Vast of Night is a really great sci-fi movie. If you guys are looking for good sci-fi, it was Rotten Tomatoes' #1 sci-fi movie of 2020. It came out in 2020, so it was a bad year for movie premieres that year. But we filmed this probably back in like 2016, 2017. And the director, Andrew Patterson, he's amazing. And some of the technical stuff that he does is camera work in that. Like the camera is zooming through the town. It's a period piece as well. Very kind of spooky sci-fi vibes. That thing, I thought this film was never going to see the light of day. I thought it had died
How heartbreaking
on
would that have been?
the cutting room floor. I had heard nothing for years. And so I had just kind of given up hope. Like, okay, we're not going to see that anywhere. all of a sudden, the film went to Toronto International Film Festival. And it was amazing. It also went to Sundance, and it was picked up at TIFF by Amazon Studios. So now it's an Amazon Studios film. And so you can watch it on Amazon Prime. Yeah, really good sci-fi, very highly rated. And I play a small part in it, but it is really, really fun. The acting style and the camera work in that film.
Hello, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Avi.
Hey, Abby. So, Abby, your question is, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, okay. I have my answer prepared.
Oh, God. All right, here we go.
I would love to fly.
That's a good
Interesting.
one.
So, are you familiar with, because apparently this just became apparent to me not too long ago, actually, where there's a psychology behind that answer.
Oh.
Because they argue it's between flying and teleporting. If you choose flying, you are more for the journey, not the destination. And then teleporting, the exact opposite.
Oh, yeah.
So, interesting.
That's actually related to my question.
Oh, my God.
What is it?
Promise you this was not rehearsed.
I know.
What's your question?
So I've noticed that Frieren as a character is very, like, kind of live and let live. She very much protects her peace. What's your philosophy in life pertaining to that? Do you have a similar philosophy?
Ooh, the idea of protecting my peace.
Yes.
Yeah, oh man. I think it's changed throughout the years. I think like getting older has maybe changed my perspective on that, because when I was younger, I've always been the type of person where I'm just involved in everything. Like when I went to college, I joined every club in college, to the point where I had totally overcommitted myself and got booted out of student council because I couldn't go to the meetings. I had theater rehearsal, you know, and there's a term I learned in a TED Talk called a multi-potentialite. And I loved the term because there were just so many things that interested me. I love writing, I love acting, I love singing, all of those things. And it was hard for me to kind of choose, so I kind of just did them all. And talk about protecting your peace. There was no peace if you do it all.
No peace to protect.
No, it was, and so I learned, into my 20s, like burnout is so real, and it can really affect your mental health. And you start to lose the passion and the love that you have for the things that you once enjoyed. And so I started to trim down, and I started to really ask myself, like, what brings me the most joy? And that's where I think I started to focus in a little bit more and found a little bit more peace. And now that I'm getting older, peace is like even more important than ever. Like, there was a period of my life where I wanted, to be successful, and I put all of my heart and soul into trying to make something of myself. And, now that I've gotten to where I am, finding my people, my relationships, my space where I feel comfortable and happy, like those are a lot of the things that I'm prioritizing. So I think it changes, as you get older. But I definitely relate to Frieren in the sense of she's learning to, cherish the relationships that she has with people. And maybe it's too late for some of those relationships, maybe it's not, and I think she's bringing the lessons that she learned from her past into her present. She says, don't dwell in the past when you have the present. And I think that's kind of beautiful, where she's learning and growing to really appreciate all that she has around her. So I think it's kind of pretty.
Thank you
for your question.
Thank you.
Hello, what is your name?
My name is Braden.
Hey, Braden. So, Braden, your question is, if you could choose one anime, box set is fine, to be stuck on a deserted island with for 3 days, all you can watch, and somehow you have a working DVD or Blu-ray player and a TV.
Absolutely.
Help comes in 3 days. What anime are we watching for the entire duration of those 3 days?
I have to go with the Stone World or Scientist one, where they all get frozen in stone and.
Dr. Stone?
Dr. Stone.
that one.
Oh, I'm in Dr. Stone. I'm Turquoise. She's one of the people in the village. That's a great one. I love that one.
Well, because they have all the, like, here's how you make a car.
That's a good point.
That's a genius answer.
You could be making Senku Cola. That's
Kansas
awesome.
City, you came to play. What's your question, man?
Okay, so this is kind of related to the one you asked to the last person. But if you could take any one spell from any anime, what spell would you be able to do in real life?
Ooh, okay.
Ooh. Is there any anime where they can stop time?
There's like 20 of them.
Good. Okay. I want that. Because it's funny, I was listening to you talk about, okay, would I be able to fly or teleport? And I was like, man, I feel like my answer might be stop time, which is so appropriate for Frieren,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Like the idea of the passage of time and, all of that, and how the theme of time in the show really goes through like all aspects, even the magic system in Frieren. Like you think about the spell Zoltrak, like when Zoltrak, back in the day with the old party, Zoltrak was a super powerful spell. And then time goes on and we learn more about magic, and all of a sudden Zoltrak isn't as powerful as it once was. And so, yeah, I feel like I would want to stop time, but I wouldn't want to age while time is stopped. Because can't you imagine, like, I stop time and then I come back and I'm like an old woman with a walker or something like that? No, I just, to stop and be able to reflect more and have more time, I guess, to myself to process things that have happened. I'm going all the time. So to be able to sit down and, I don't know, fully integrate all the things that have happened to me is something I desire.
Also, amazing opportunity to avoid those feet and mouth opportunities. Those waitress gives you your food, be like, hey, enjoy your food. And you're like, thanks, you too.
Oh, yeah. Let's pause time before that.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Hello. What's your name?
Hi, my name's Travis.
Hey, Travis. Okay, so Travis, your question is a little bit of a low-hanging fruit, but it is around lunchtime. So what is your go-to grab-and-go lunch?
Ramen bowls.
Ramen bowls. Got a preferred brand?
Maruchan.
Maruchan.
Excellent.
Tried and true. What's your question, Travis?
Sticking with the theme on superpowers, since you were in time I got reincarnated as a slime, what's it like sharing a main character and being their power?
Oh my gosh. Did you guys get a chance to meet Brittany Karbowski here at this event? We love Brittany.
It was a very pizza-focused panel.
Oh, good, good. I feel like she loves talking about food, so you just get her going, and she won't be able to stop. But I love Brittany. She's amazing. And to be the voice inside of her head, it is a dream role. First of all, to voice a conceptual intelligence is very cool for me. Like, that's cool. It's, the Great Sage is a skill that starts to maybe become more sentient as time goes on. And every time the Great Sage gets sassy, and snarky with Rimuru, Brittany's character, it just makes me smile. I love their relationship together. And I don't know if you've read ahead or anything like that, but no spoilers. I'm very excited about where the story is going to go. Because next year for Slime, we have a new season and a movie coming. So, like, Slime fans are eating good next year. I am so excited. Yes, so lots more Slime to come, which makes me really happy. So I'm excited to see, what happens with Great Sage's character and how they evolve over time.
Thank you for your question.
No, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Hello. Welcome. What's your name?
My name's Evelyn.
Hey, Evelyn. Okay, so Evelyn, what is your top favorite musical?
Probably Matilda.
Matilda. That's a good one.
Oh, wow. That was such a good movie when I was a kid. I love that one.
So my question is, I asked Brittany this. What would the great intelligence from I Got Reincarnated as a Slime favorite pizza would be?
Oh, we're talking pizza now.
Going back to the pizza, ladies and gentlemen.
This is also going to be a pizza panel, so we forgot to tell you.
Pizza panel 2, Electric Boogaloo. Let's do it.
Ooh, okay, what would the Great Sage like on their pizza? I feel like the Great Sage would have a very rational answer to this question. So I feel like the Great Sage would want a well-balanced pizza. So let's get a veggie on there.
Okay.
Let's get some protein on there.
But like balance, not like exclusive, like meat lovers or anything. Nothing like that.
Yeah. Not going too far in any one angle. Then, of course, we got some cheese on there. Just the right amount, the right ratio. Perhaps they might even be talking about the different ratios. And then I think they would imbue it with some sort of magical quality too. You know, like this pizza gives you the ability to fly. Wouldn't that be cool? Pizza that makes you fly. Yeah, I think it would be a balanced pizza, very rational. Because the Great Sage doesn't really often have a form exist inside of Rimu's brain. So the Great Sage eating is quite interesting to think about. I don't know.
Now, what is its opinion on stuffed crust? Like too much?
Ooh,
or
okay. I think as long as the cheese to bread ratio is appropriate,
equal?
the Great Sage would like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question,
Thank you.
Evelyn. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Tyla.
Hey, Kyla. Okay, so Kyla,
Oh,
your
Tyla, sorry.
Tyla, even better. Tyla, your question is actually, I'm going to be a little selfish and do 2 questions. Number 1, who are we cosplaying as today?
I'm cosplaying as Misaki from Project Sakai.
Nice! All right, and then your question is, if you found yourself, for better or worse, living in one world in any anime,
Ooh.
what would it be?
I think. Oh man, this is a tough one. This might sound a little too easy, but I think honestly, I would live in the world of Frieren.
Woo!
Yeah, I would too, but I would be real scared of those demons. Woo.
Yeah, that's
Don't let them
true.
get you. Just find a little cozy little cabin somewhere in the woods. You'll be good.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your question, Tyla?
When it came to finding the right voice for Frieren, what direction were you given, and what clicked with you and the directors?
That's a good question. I think, our director, Jade Saxton, first of all, shout out to Jade. She is absolutely amazing. She's an incredible voice actress in her own right. She's done a ton of anime, and of course, she's a very fantastic director up at Crunchyroll. And I just feel like she did such a great job with the cast. I feel like all the characters just fit their roles so nicely. And so she and I got together, started kind of thinking about what the Frieren voice would be. And it's a tough challenge because when it comes to Frieren, she's very stoic and almost unemotional, but you don't want it to be so unemotional that it becomes boring, you know?
Yeah.
So you wanted to have some life and these moments of joy and levity in between more serious moments. So there was a lot of trying to figure out the right balance of stoicism and those moments of joy that Frieren has. Then I think we of course took a lot of inspiration from the Japanese performances. I think also just like thinking about the elves that we've all seen in popular culture, in fantasy stories, in D&D, like all of the elves that I've experienced throughout my lifetime, just kind of there in the back of my head as we're thinking about what the Frieren voice could be. So I think it was a combination of a lot of different factors, but I like where we ended up with the character because she's very complex. She is. She has a lot of different facets to her, and I think that's part of what makes her so relatable for so many people. I think everyone can find something about Frieren where they go, oh yeah, I get that. For me, it's the sleepiness. Like I'm a sleepy girl. Oh my gosh. So every time Frieren is sleepy, it just makes me smile.
Thank you for your question, Tyla.
Of course, and thank you for answering.
Thank you, Tyler.
So obviously you are, we collectively, we're attending this panel. Of course, we all collectively love Frieren. And of course, you clearly join us in that. Dripped out in the Frieren outfit.
Yes, I got my Frieren hat.
But I'm curious, did it start that way? Or when you were introduced to this character and won the role, was it one that you started loving just right off the bat? Or was it a little bit more of a slow burn? A little bit more of you, as this character was developing, so too were your feelings for her?
Yeah, I think, when I first got the news that I got the role, I was really excited because it said, would you accept the role of Frieren in a show called Frieren? And I was like, oh my
Main character!
Gosh, a title character? Like, what? That's so cool. I feel like any actor, is dreaming for an opportunity like that. So I got so excited. I started Googling, to try and see what people were saying about the manga. And I got on all these YouTube videos where people were so hype about the manga. And to me, that already got me very excited. And the way that, people describe the story, as we all do, is it's set after the big event, It's a kind of unique story. So already I was sold because I love something that's a little bit different. And so that started to really sell me on the character. But it wasn't until we started recording and I started reading through the manga. I mean, in a similar way, maybe to Frieren, you know, as she sort of like slowly opens herself up to the people in her lives. Like, I feel like I had a similar kind of story where, you know, as the scenes unfolded and I started to get to know Frieren more and more, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a really special character. And now, you know, to be here and meet all of you and hear your stories about how Frieren has, you know, impacted you, the different aspects of the show that mean a lot to you, you know, I can tell that it's just something really special. It is something really special. And I'm so excited for season 2. Hopefully you all have heard season 2 in January. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, in January. I'm so excited. And just 2 days ago, actually, they released a trailer. So if you guys haven't checked out the trailer, definitely give that a watch because it doesn't give too much away if you're not a, you know, spoiler kind of person. I think it just helps kind of set the mood and the emotion.
Sets the tone a little bit.
It does, yes, yes.
Excellent. All right, hello, what is your name?
Drake.
Drake. Okay, so Drake, your question is kind of similar to the previous question, but a little bit with a twist. So, you're familiar with Freaky Friday?
I think so.
Okay. If you could switch places with one anime character, knowing Freaky Friday situation, they're going to be in your life, who would it be?
Gone.
Oh, man, without
Hunter
a
x
doubt.
Hunter.
So, Gone from Hunter x Hunter?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he would have fun exploring this world, and I would definitely have fun exploring his.
That's excellent. What's your question, man?
All right. Have you ever considered doing an audiobook? And if so, what book would you love to do an audiobook for?
Ooh, yes, yes. So I have done some long form audio narration. There is Texas Monthly. If you guys know Texas Monthly, they do really great in-depth articles. And I did a few narrations of their longer articles. So I think I have 2 that are out there. They're kind of true crime related.
Oh, wow.
So if you like a good true crime story, check it out. I think one is like 45 minutes, one's an hour. And yeah, it was like best nonfiction audiobook back in 2018 when I did that. So there are pretty good stories and good reads. And so that was my first foray into long form narration. It's hard. Oh my gosh. I have so much respect for audiobook narrators because they are in the studio yapping and yapping for hours and hours and hours. And it's tough because if you flub a word, you know, the editors that come in, or maybe, you know, the narrators themselves doing the editing, going back in, fixing those little things here and there. So mad respect to audiobook narrators. I would love to. I really want to do sleep stories. I think, like, could you just listen to my voice as I explain? My idea was like to do maybe like space stories since I love sci-fi. I talked about that with Star Blazers, but just talking about Mars is a planet that is far away, you know, and I'm just lulling you to sleep very slowly. But I really love fantasy as well. I read a lot of fantasy books, so I would love to narrate a fantasy book. Yeah, maybe even a romantasy, if you guys know this category. I'm a big like ACOTAR, Fourth Wing, those types of books. So yeah, I think I would love to narrate a fantasy story or a sci-fi story. I'm going through the second book of Three Body Problem, if you guys have read that series as well. Yeah, woo, very good. So sci-fi fantasy is my area. I always laugh sometimes because people, you talk about the shows that I watch. Like, I don't watch anything based in present day. It's like total escapism for me, you know? I'm either going to watch a period piece, I'm going to watch a sci-fi, or I'm going to watch a fantasy. And so, good thing there's a lot of anime that fall into those categories.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Woo!
Yeah! Hello!
Hello, what is your name?
My name's Chase.
Hey, Chase. Okay, so Chase, your question is, what is a hidden talent of yours?
I would say very good short-term memory.
Very good short-term memory.
That's a talent.
God, that's something I need. What's your question, man?
So, in the anime, Frieren's probably one big flaw is falling for any mimic chest that offers her a grimoire. What item would have you in that same situation?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked this question because I mentioned, like, I love it when Frieren is sleepy, but I also love it when Frieren gets excited about collecting things because I myself am a collector. And so there's many things that would probably get me trapped inside of a mimic. One of the things that I've started collecting recently, and it was something that I collected when I was a kid. Do you guys know pressed pennies? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, so is this at like the state fair where you put in a penny and like
Yeah, so when I was a kid, you know, we'd go around and I'd get a pressed penny or whatever, and then I totally abandoned this collecting hobby. And then I started traveling more for cons and whatnot, and I wanted a memento to kind of remember the area that I was in. So we now go to thepennycollector.com. So if you ever see like a community note and it says the penny elf,
the penny elf?
That's me. That's me. Yes, because I gotta let the community know, like whenever you go to a machine and it's like it's not rolling right or the machine is broken, you know, the community is very good about keeping it up to date. But now it's like it almost relates even more to Frieren because I don't know if you guys heard, they're not minting the penny anymore.
I did hear this, yes. Yeah, I think they're still being accepted. Nobody freak out.
Yes.
You guys have a penny jar at home.
Yes.
It is not invalid. However, they are not printing any new ones.
Right, so it's a rare and valuable grimoire. So yeah, I usually try and find a penny machine to every place that I go. And we started also collecting photos of me like rolling it as well. So I have a bunch of photos of me doing it. It's so silly. And there's one thing in Frieren that they say when Frieren's like holding an orb. I think Fern says it. She says, "Why do these things make her so happy?" And that's how I feel about pressed pennies. That's one of my favorite things to collect. But I have a lot of weird collections. I also collect mini brands. Have you guys heard about mini brands? They're like tiny little versions of food, like a box of Cheez-Its that is this big, you know, like a can of Coke. And it's not real, you know, it's not real food.
But they're adorably small.
It's really cute. I like miniature things. I don't know, it's weird commentary on capitalism that just kind of makes me smile. And yeah, it's cute. So I collect those as well. I probably jump in a mimic for those too.
Yeah. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
All right. Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. What is your name?
Nathan.
What was it?
Nathan.
Nathan. Okay, so Nathan, your question is kind of bouncing back on this one. Is there anything fun, or really just anything in general, even if it's stamps, that you collect?
So it's really old, but back in the 90s, I was really into collecting the Star Wars collectible card game.
Okay.
And I even have, from PlanetCon 2 years ago, the voice actor Ian McDonald, who did The Emperor, has signed one of my Emperor cards.
Oh my gosh! Now that trading card game has kind of gained a resurgence, has it not?
Not that particular version of it.
So a different
I
one.
haven't seen that one around, yeah.
Oh, okay, very cool. What's your question?
So a little bit off the wall, I know that you voiced Solution Epsilon in Overlord and in Isekai Quartet. So what's it like voicing a character both in the main series and essentially what one could consider like a fan version of it almost?
I love a Solution. Have y'all seen Overlord by any chance? Oh, it's a great anime. Very good. So Solution Epsilon, she is one of the Pleiades maids, and she is so bad. She is so evil, and I love it. I didn't realize I loved being bad, but it's very fun to act. And so she's really fun. She has one quote, I think it's like, "A little taste of heaven before he sees hell." You know, she's just like, she's eating all sorts of people. She's a bad slime. But I really enjoy voicing her. She's really fun. I want to see more of the battle maids. I think they're all such fascinating characters, and so to see more of her backstory, I think would make me really happy. And then you switch over to Isekai Quartet, which is almost on the opposite end of things, where it's just a bunch of characters from different anime, like going to school together, like having fun, and it's really fun to play a character so out of context, of the original context, in this other world with characters from other shows. So I think the concept of Isekai Quartet to me is really fascinating. So I'm glad Solution gets to be a small part of it. Hopefully we get to see her doing some bad stuff in it too. She would be a very bad student, I think. Very bad.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
So we've explored a bit at the now. We've explored how much you love and how much we collectively love Frieren, but I want to kind of take it back and explore a little bit about how we got here. So every actor or any really industry that we find ourselves in, we always have that origin story, that aha moment where we realize, at least professionally, this is what we want to pursue for the rest of our lives. So I'm curious to know kind of what was your aha moment? When did you realize that acting and performing was what you wanted to pursue?
Ooh, I mean, it's tough because I think it's a combination of different moments throughout my life. Like I started off, I think like one of the biggest moments was in 4th grade. Very pivotal year for Mallorie, apparently. So, do you guys remember like in grade school when you would do popcorn reading?
Oh my
You know, and it's
gosh,
like I
yes.
read a sentence and I pass it to someone and they read a sentence out of a book, and so we did popcorn reading, and I remember being so nervous about like reading my sentence.
Really?
But afterwards, my teacher, Mrs. Donahue, she told my parents, and she said, Mallorie has a really pleasant speaking voice. She should consider books on tape, which is audiobooks for all you Gen Zers. But yeah, she was like, she should do books on tape. And I mean, 4th grade already, like getting that feedback was pretty cool.
Shout out to Mrs. Donahue. Yeah.
I hope she's doing well. And then in 4th grade also, I auditioned for the city choir. Maybe you guys know this because it's Kansas, Wichita Children's Community Choir. WCCC.
Woo.
You guys, oh my.
Your people.
Oh my gosh, Marilyn Killian was our director, our choral director, and I got in WCCC, and that was a great choir, and it taught me how to use my voice. It really strengthened that. It also taught me perseverance, because when you're a kid, the last thing that you want to do on a Thursday night is go to choir rehearsal, and oh my gosh, I didn't want to go at all, but I made myself do it, and I think it taught me a lot about hard work too. So, it started to happen in 4th grade where I was like, I love singing, I like sort of this idea of talking out loud, and then I started doing more choirs and operas and musical theater, and then I got a theater degree, and then in college I had a professor also tell me, like, I think you should consider a career in voiceover. And so I took it to heart, which goes to show like how much your professors and your mentors and your teachers can really have a positive impact on your life. So yeah, I started doing it, and really happenstance that I got to do anime too. Living in Dallas, Crunchyroll records a lot of anime out of the Dallas area. So I started in commercial work, which I love doing commercials. You can hear my voice on Pizza Hut commercials, on Albertsons commercials, on Jeep commercials, like all sorts of stuff. I think it's really fun. Then getting into performing in anime, it was really fun. I really loved embodying a character fully and truly. And I'll tell you, just this past year, I got to voice, I think this is very appropriate for this con because there's people with the red panda passes.
Yes.
I voiced a red panda last season in a show called Denken no Magura, The Earthbound Mole.
No way!
Nobody really watched it, but it is a very good anime. And I am a little tiny panda who doesn't make no lines, just noises and vibes. And whenever I got done recording this cute little red panda, I was like, I love this. I'm having so much fun. Like, this is what it's about when you get out of the booth and you go, that was amazing. Like, when do I get to do that again?
So what was it named again, just for all of us who want to watch it later?
Maggie the Red Panda in a show called Dekken no Magura. That's the Japanese name, and the English name is The Earthbound Mole. It's kind of a little bit spooky vibes, There's spirits, and they're trying to figure out the world, but it's really cute, and Maggie is adorable.
Alrighty, Jared, what's going on again, man?
If in a next future role, if you get called or you get to choose, would you prefer a serious or a comedic role?
Oh, that's so hard. I'm going to go with comedic. I am. It's fun. It's so fun. I mean, Frieren is a very serious anime, but what I love about it is there's also very comedic moments, even moments that you didn't really realize were going to be comedic moments. There's one, maybe you guys remember, it was right after Shark defeats the dragon, and Frieren is off on her own. She's going to the dragon's hoard of treasure, and she's singing like, now this hoard of treasure is mine. And like, I just kind of thought that was cute. That was her moment of joy, where she loves collecting things. And the fan base really liked that line, this cute little like funny line that comes out of nowhere. So I mean, I think I would want to do a good comedic role. I think it's fun when you have an actor that just has great comedic timing. And I want to practice my comedic timing so that I can get even better at making people laugh.
Thank you for your question, Jared. Well, it's also just a really big testament to the show because something notoriously difficult to get right in a show is that balance, right? Where you don't want to lean too much into the seriousness and then all of a sudden it turns into just a very bleak, a very serious toned show. But you also don't want to lean too much into the comedy, the camp, whereas, it's not really taken very seriously. So in order to meet that balance is not an easy thing to do from both a writing and a performance perspective.
Yeah, well, that's what I tell people about Frieren is like, it really does have everything. It's got epic battles. It has well-developed characters. It has funny moments. It has very endearing moments, too. It has serious moments that make you think about your own life and everything. It's like so many elements that come together. Plus, the music is amazing. I'm such a fan of Evan Call's soundtrack. I cannot wait to hear more of that for season 2. The animation studio Madhouse, I mean, they absolutely killed it. It's top tier, especially some of those battles. So it just has everything. It has the nice balance that you're talking about that I think that's part of what makes it so special.
Absolutely. All righty. Hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
Do we have another question?
Yes. If you could meet or talk to any of the characters he's voiced, which character would you like to meet?
Ooh. Oh, that's so hard. Because I want to say Frieren. Like, it would be so cool to talk to Frieren. I might say the Great Sage. Because the Great Sage, being a conceptual intelligence, probably quite knowledgeable. But would the Great Sage have knowledge of our world? That's what I would wonder. Like, I would get to know the Great Sage, but they may be confused on how things work in the real world. But I think it would be fascinating to meet the Great Sage and then start to like level them up with me, just have them inside of me. Maybe that might actually be annoying to have another voice inside of my brain now that I think about that. We'll just keep them over there and have a conversation. Probably Great Sage, maybe also Frieren though. Because both characters, in a way, are just wise beings that have experience, whether it's, sort of AI or 1,000 years of living. So I think they would have a lot of wise, wonderful things to share with me.
Thank you for your question. So in anything we find ourselves doing, it takes a level of confidence. Now, we're all different people. I know we are all here today for a collective love of anime, Frieren, celebrity guests, etc. But one thing that we all require is a level of confidence to achieve anything. So I would argue that with show business, that is even more important because with the great essence of art is being able to invoke emotion, and that often takes the form of being vulnerable. So for everybody here today, or for those watching later on YouTube, with the tone of confidence, how is that something that you've either developed in life or were able to muster up in moments that required it?
Gosh, that's a great question. And I think it's something I still struggle with,
Really?
even to this day. I mean, there's been so many points in my career where I, take a moment to look up and I look around, at the other actors, at my peers, and I go, oh my gosh, so-and-so's doing this, and then, so-and-so's over here in this, and it's amazing. Like, what am I doing in comparison to them? And
It's a little hard not to develop imposter syndrome.
oh my gosh, yeah, it's hard to not look around and compare yourself to your peers, but you have to realize like we're all on our own journeys. Each person's path to success is different, and I think once I started to learn that a bit more, and I got focused on my own career, the things that I wanted to achieve, the goals that I have, the things I wanted to learn and get better at. All of a sudden things started to happen. But I will say like perseverance was a big part of that because I mean, even when I wanted to start working with Funimation, this is like 12 years ago. Actually, this would be 15 years ago. I sent an email to like a random email address like, hi, I'm Mallorie. I'm a voice actor. Like, I'll do whatever you want. I'll do Walla, which is like background noises, in a show. I'll be at your studio in 30 minutes. It took them 4 years to respond to my emails. That is when I got my first role. And even then, they said, this is actually a paid audition, so you can do this role, but if we don't like it, we're recasting you. So it was my first role ever.
Oh
and
my
so
gosh.
can you imagine?
Trial by fire.
Yeah, the confidence was like, and my kind of crutch for that is I'm such a like preparer. So I went at that time, all the episodes of, it was A Certain Magical Index, if anyone knows that show. Yee, okay, yeah. Y'all have good taste in anime.
I'm
You've seen all the
telling you
good
what.
ones. That's amazing. So I went and I watched all the episodes and I wrote, like typed out all of my characters' lines, which is totally unnecessary. But I was like, maybe I could do that to help myself be more prepared. And so that was another moment of like, you know, still building up the confidence. But then I think once you start doing it more and more and you get positive reinforcement from your directors and your engineers and from fans, you know, all of those things work in tandem to build up your confidence more and more. But it's almost like in some instances in the vulnerability, you sort of strip that away, you know, and you just become a shell for that emotion. And so the confidence both helps and hurts.
Yeah, absolutely. And then so before we close things out, looking back into your long career, I mean, over 10, 15 years ago is when you kind of started this journey. Looking back, was there anything that you would advise yourself if you could talk to your past self who was just starting this journey, and in tandem, the folks joining us here today who might want to pursue a career in acting? What were some things that you learned along the way that you would advise them looking back?
I mean, I think perseverance is part of it because, I mean, it was 10 years into my career before, you know, I finally got a role like Frieren. And, you know, there were times when I wanted to give up, you know, when I said, maybe I should think about something else. Maybe I should try a different avenue. But I'm so glad that I stuck with it because ultimately, if you can't find joy in, you know, doing the bit part in an anime that no one will ever watch, you know, if you're in it just to have the title role in the most popular anime, like you're not in it for the right reasons. So finding joy in embodying a character, finding joy in, you know, seeking emotion and storytelling and all of those aspects that are so wonderful about acting, like that's really what it's about. So, you know, when you leave the booth after recording Maggie the Red Panda and you feel such a sense of joy, you know that you're in the right place and you keep going.
Ladies and gentlemen, did we have a good time?
Thank you for coming.
So one last time, folks, before we part ways for an incredible weekend, if you guys wouldn't mind joining us over here by center stage, we'd love to grab a quick group selfie.
I love it. And if you didn't get a chance to see me at my booth, I know we had to cut off the line. Come back and see me. I'll be there right after the panel. So please come see me. And thank you for coming.